Hello guys, Sanshin here. And welcome to second book. In this second book, we will use the SWOT analysis method to discuss Space Ishtar. In short, SWOT analysis is often used in developing strategic plans or evaluating individual conditions. In this case, the goal is to find out what Space Ishtar needs are so we can maximize her to become a stable DPS to achieve a brighter future. The first on the list is a Generalist servant. The Generalist I'm referring to is Space Ishtar's ability to adjust its strength based on available support. Space Ishtar can adjust her Noble Phantasm to the support used by using the second skill, Venus Driver, such as Buster with Merlin, Quick with Scotty, or Arts with Castoria. By choosing and placing a Noble Phantasm card at the beginning, the next card will get benefits, such as when the first Buster card will increase damage. If the first card is Quick, it will generate more stars, and when the first card is Arts, the NP refund will be higher. Apart from that, Space Ishtar is also supported by having a third skill, which is 50% filling the NP gauge, so supports like Castoria and Scotty with 50% filling the NP gauge will make Space Ishtar able to access its Noble Phantasm quickly. Two potential sources of damage. This source comes from the effects of Space Ishtar's Noble Phantasm itself. The first is the effect of his Noble Phantasm, which increases damage from extra attack by 100% for one turn. This is extremely useful for dealing additional damage in addition to the total damage in one turn, while also ensuring that Space Ishtar receives star and NP refunds from this extra attack. The second is the effect of overcharging Noble Phantasm by stacking NP and placing Space Ishtar NP at the end, which can increase the buff from NP up, which is activated before the Noble Phantasm is performed, so this can increase the damage output. Normally, you can only overcharge up to 300% by stacking two other Noble Phantasms so that you get a 40% NP up buff without having to use a specific craft essence or fill up your NP gauge above 100%. Solid extra attack. Aside from Noble Phantasm damage, Space Ishtar's extra attack adds significantly to total damage. Space Ishtar is the first servant who can fully utilize this extra attack effect, allowing it to contribute one turn total damage by gaining the effect of Noble Phantasm, which increases extra attack damage by 100%, and having the first append skill at level 10, which has the effect of 50% additional extra attack performance. Besides that, extra attack will also give a star and fill the NP gauge. You can see this clip. With extra attack, Space Ishtar can finish off the enemy with that much defense. A chance-based third skill buff. Chance is Space Ishtar's most obvious weakness, according to the third skill buff. Because this skill has an 80% chance of success, the remaining 20% chance is that Space Ishtar will lose all of her buffs, causing her to lose a significant amount of damage output. Low base NP gain. Because NP gain is so closely related to NP refund, this weakness only applies to the Arts version of Space Ishtar. Space Ishtar ranks 165th out of 296 total servants, with a 0.69% base NP gain. This makes Space Ishtar very dependent on NP gain buffs from supports such as Castoria's second skill, Nero Bridge's first skill, or Paracelsus' third skill. Basic Stat Active Skill Kit. On the other hand, due to the strength of Noble Phantasm and extra attacks, Space Ishtar has a lower stat number for its active skills compared to other scaling skill servants with similar skill ranks. The second skill is also limited by its use. It can only be used once in 3 turns. With the compensation being to change the NP's color and make it invincible on 1 hit. The third skill is based on chance and only gives a 20% color buff. This is not ideal, and it is not comparable to the chance-based skill, which can be missed at any time, and if successful, only a 20% buff is obtained. Being an Avanger class. Space Ishtar with the Avanger class has several opportunities, the first being Avanger EX. In addition to having an attack modifier on another class with a value of 1.1. This passive can compensate for Space Ishtar's lack of NP gain by providing 22% NP gain when hit by an enemy. The next is a passive that can regenerate the NP gauge every turn. This is very useful if the NP gauge will be full when it lacks a few percent gauge. Next is passive debuff resistance, with a total of 42% of the 2 passives combined, almost close to 50%. This is beneficial because Space Ishtar can be free of enemy debuffs with the guard indicator. Then passive with increases critical damage, which is not bad for the resulting damage output even though it's only 16% of the total of the 2 passives. Compatible with Art, Buster, and Quick Party. This shows that Space Ishtar can enter all parties, starting with Arts with Castoria, then a Space Ishtar Buster with Koyanskaya and Oberon in mid-2023, and a Space Ishtar Quick with Triple Scotty in 2024. You can clear anything in Fate Go with all of these parties, starting with 3-turn farms with any type of enemy layout and the min-turn boss. Enemy with damage resistance buff. Space Ishtar Noble Phantasm does not have an ignore defense effect, and enemies with this buff make her damage compressed to be small, so this is very troublesome and sometimes requires certain craft essence. Enemy with large HP pool. In the future, enemies on turn 3 will have a very large health bar. You can see that their health bar reaches 1 million. In my opinion, this will be a problem because so far the enemies I can beat have a maximum health bar of 1,500,000 with a combination of Noble Phantasm and extra attack from Space Ishtar, and their class is Berserker. Finally, we have entered this topic. In this topic, the solution offered is to use a support servant. Why is that? Because Space Ishtar is a servant event where there is little chance of getting buffs on skills that are lacking, so a support servant is the current solution. We start with the solution for Space Ishtar's third skill, which is based on chance. Here is a list of servants who have a buff success rate that will guarantee her chance of 100% success. I have listed this servant support based on the type of party that is suitable, so adjusted according to the required buff needs. For example, if you need the Ignore Invisible buff, you can bring Calamity Jane by preparing 50 stars to get the full benefits. Or if you need a second DPS, bring Ozymandias for a flexible party or Scathach for a quick party. Next, for the problem of low NP gain on Space Ishtar, support with NP rate skills can solve the problem. The servants listed have NP rate skills that can be used for Space Ishtar and have other skills that can help more in the arts party. To support Space Ishtar, I usually combine the 2 servants listed, such as pairing Nero Bridge with Paracelsus, double Nero Bridge, or double Castoria. Then, if the NP gain obtained is insufficient to fill the NP gauge in the next turn, this is the list of backup servants. Usually this servant is used during support rotation, and the servant on this list is only used once, so after using all the skills, it is hoped that this servant will be killed by the enemy. If you prefer the stalling strategy, This servant can use his noble phantasm to protect parties like Castoria and Scotty while also stunning enemies like Waver. Let's try a buff list simulation using a party against the boss with the following conditions: Space Ishtar with heavy investment, like max level 100 or more, foe level 2000, using Craft Essence Royal Icing because it's free to play CE and has a full attack stat, then using the assumption that every turn has one Art's face card from Space Ishtar. In the first turn, we will use all the skills from the front line servant, except for Space Ishtar's second skill. Then, in the second turn, use all of Waver's skills. Then in the third turn, Sima E uses all skills and uses Space Ishtar's second skill. Another party, this time there must be a skills sequence. Use all of Mozart's skills first, then Calamity Jane was followed by Space Ishtar. Then third skill from Paracelsus for NP rate. On turn 3, use all remaining skills. Next party with double Castoria, use all skills from both Castoria, including Space Ishtar's first skill, in the first turn. Then, after Lon Ling enters, use only the third skill. In the second turn, use the second Lon Ling skill first, then the third skill, Space Ishtar, to guarantee a 100% successful buff. Then on the third turn use all the Waver skills and Space Ishtar's second skill.